Next item on our agenda, a good segue, is the basis presentation by our high school students.
Good evening. Thank you. I didn't realize we were going to get $20,000 for this presentation, but
let the record state you don't.
That'll go right in my account. But welcome. We wanted to give you a little glimpse into our student voice and our basis work this year. We have many different ways we communicate with students, face-to-face, email, surveys, but we wanted to add something this year. So we had our students here who presented at our faculty meeting on the work they've done with the help of Ms. Christensen, Dr. Quinn, and myself, the work they've done this year in not just basis work, but just the work in general with building relationships. So they presented at the faculty meeting. It was such a success. We wanted to show you kind of what they did for the teachers, how they professionally developed the teachers through their perspective and their voice. And it went so well. The next faculty meeting, we had the young Democrats and young Republicans show up to present on their voter registration drive. And we had over 85% of our students in our senior class have already registered to vote. We're close to 90% right now, so that's just a huge accomplishment for us. Last year we were at about 56%, so now we're over 90%, and it was all student-driven. So we're very happy. So we're really looking for other ways to get the students out in front of the teachers, to increase our committees with the students, and they do a great job. So without further ado, the high school students.
Yeah. Hello, my name is Tommy Barnes.
And I'm Jack O'Leary.
And we're the co-presidents of the Rainbow Alliance at Haverford. So the Rainbow Alliance is the hub for the LGBTQ plus population at the high school. And it consists of the LGBTQ community and other allies that foster inclusion and kind of tolerance within the school. So we kind of want to go through some different things that our club did throughout this year. We started off the year with a Love is Love is Love bake sale on Valentine's Day to raise money for homeless LGBTQ youth at the Valley Youth Center. This was the first kind of school event as a club, and we met with lots of interest, passion, and kind of energy from the student body, so it was such a success. It was a great starting off point to get our message out to the club. So then before spring break, as kind of Liz mentioned earlier, we took part in the nationwide Day of Silence, which was when we kind of, again, omitted our voices for the entirety of the school day to recognize and highlight the silent struggles and adversity that LGBTQ teens face on the daily. So almost all of our members took part, and we really pushed for vocal supporter pins this year. So anyone who didn't really feel comfortable going silent for the day, they could still put on the pin with the vocal supporter label and show their support. So we were met with tons of pins throughout the school, plus the teachers with the Pride t-shirts and everything. It was really special. That same day, we also hosted the Philadelphia Gay Men's Chorus, and we had about 75 students and faculty attend. So they did a little 30-minute concert of different song selections, and at the end, there was this amazing question and answer portion where the audience got to hear powerful stories, both negative and positive, from the members of the chorus, which was super impactful and super meaningful for the student body to hear people out of high school, post-secondary school, and everything. And how life is for them and what they've overcome, what they've dealt with, and just how great their lives are now. And so something we're hoping to finish the year off with is definition posters. So deriving off the 10th grade health curriculum, going into more terminology associated with the LGBTQ community that deals with misused or uncommon terms to kind of further the education and kind of attention to these specific terms and everything. And then at our meetings, it's mainly discussion based, focusing on this year, specifically pronoun use, the HMS health curriculum, and being LGBTQ at Haverford.
Okay, so one of our biggest priorities at the faculty meeting was really to emphasize to the teachers the importance of pronouns and how to use them and be respectful with students. So over the past years, I've seen a big difference in the amount of teachers that do ask students their pronouns, but when talking to the club, we realized that not every single teacher asks students their pronouns. We really just wanted to explain that at the faculty meeting. So we kind of asked them to reach out by asking the students to write down their pronoun through whatever they usually do on the first day of class, whether it be an index card or a letter of introduction or an email, because it's really important for the students to understand that the teachers do care about their pronouns, and it makes them feel more comfortable and less alienated in the environment. A really big thing that we wanted to emphasize is it's a lot of times mistakes happen with pronouns, but it's important to correct yourself to show that you do care about identifying them correctly, and the mistakes show that you're putting in the effort. And we also really commended the 10th grade health teachers for everything they've done to educate the student body about the LGBT community, about gender, about sexuality through something that they do called Genderbread and a lot of other things in their curriculum. And it really helps to not only make the students in the LGBT community feel more included, but it also helps their peers understand who they are. So we also wanted teachers to correct microaggressions in unstructured settings like hallways or the cafeteria, just so that they understand that using derogatory terms is not okay at our school.
And then we also encouraged, again, the reaching out to students to kind of initiate that direct contact of starting the conversation around the pronouns for the students that are involved with that. We know it's a very small population within our school that kind of they identify with different pronouns that are usually assigned to them. So we kind of emphasize still the importance of, dealing with those students and in a productive and kind of efficient way.
And the biggest thing is for students to feel accepted, students in the LGBT community, is knowing that their teachers are allies. And the best way we could do this is through visual representation. So as you can see, our 2 teacher sponsors made an H Pride logo that kind of has the rainbow pride flag within the H symbol to show that Haverford is a supporter. And then also we have these positive H-space posters that Dr. Quinn made that kind of say, the classroom and the school is a place where LGBT kids are accepted and respected. And really just overall, we really wanted to emphasize to the teachers about being an ally, about using pronouns correctly. Everything that we're doing is just to make us and everyone else in the LGBT community feel more included. So I'd like to thank you for letting us speak today.
Thank you.
Ask a question before they step down. How often do you meet?
We probably meet once or twice a month. So we usually, a lot of our events are planned out, so then we kind of have things prepared before, our bake sales and the Day of Silence. We had someone come in and film a video for H-Vision so that students would understand what the Day of Silence is. So we always have a few meetings per month just so that we're always there, and it's important that it's also a social aspect of the club, that they feel like they have a club where they feel safe.
Great, thanks.
Yeah.
Good evening. My name is Georgina Williams,
And I'm Ariel Gray.
and we are presidents of the African American Cultural Enrichment Club.
This past fall, we had our trip to the African American Museum in Washington, D.C. This was an amazing experience for the entire student body to attend. Together, we explored the different aspects of African American history and culture through interactive museum exhibits that highlighted African American achievements such as sports, music, film, art, and more.
And for Black History Month, we had various different activities that we did school-wide. Some of those activities where we made posters that we put up all around the school just to raise awareness to African American culture and just to highlight achievements of African Americans in our history. We also had announcements about each day, just representing a fact or two about African Americans and their impact. And we had H-Vision videos raising awareness to different concerns within the African American community, such as using of different words and different areas that are of our concern.
Also, African American Culture Enrichment presented Black Cinema Series, which was during a week of Black History Month where students could come down after school and watch movies that highlighted Black directors, actors, and actresses. Some movies we presented were Black Panther, Hidden Figures, and The Hate U Give.
And after each movie or so, we would have debriefs talking about what the movies covered and just kind of talking about the feelings of everybody that was there and how they really related to the movie. And lastly, our big success for the entire month of Black History was our second annual Soul Food Night. This time it was a huge success. We brought around 150 plus individuals, and we opened the event up to not only students and teachers but also community members. So we had a lot of support. We had donations from Giant, Morgan's Food Market, Delaney's, and various other areas, and Giant was our biggest donator, and they donated around 100 pieces of fried chicken. So that was a big big accomplishment. We also had a dance special performed by the Haverford Middle School dance team, and we had some interactive games such as Jenga and trivia games to kind of promote inclusion and a little bit more education in our event. And overall, the event was great. We raised a lot of cultural awareness, and we had a lot of support. I mean, we thank everybody for their support throughout the entire year, planning this and also executing this in such a great manner.
And we plan to have another one the next year and furthermore.
Yes, thank you guys.
Get the date out for that one, and I can tell people, like, just go there for dinner.
Yes.
Go there for dinner.
Yes. All right, thank you guys.
Hello, my name's Carly Gannon.
My name's Katie Redding, and we attended the UPenn conference.
So basically what this conference was 14 schools from the Philly area, I guess, attended University of Pennsylvania, and we were able to be split into different groups, like little groups, and they discussed issues based on discrimination, just feelings of isolation, how to get over problems that occurred, and then yeah, so that was like little things. And then there was also a poetry slam, which was really cool, where people were able to perform poems that they've worked on in the past or throughout the day at Penn. And it was really great to listen to people just really expressing their emotions and their power, just like they could feel like they could just come out in just a belonging environment and express issues where they did feel like they didn't belong in their schools and stuff. And then something that we really got from this is that students specifically, because it was from school, students, people don't feel like they belong in their schools. They're feeling isolated or just uncomfortable. And when people shared these stories, it was just really eye-opening, because personally I don't experience this and I might not see it, but the thing that we need to recognize is it's not an out of sight, out of mind thing. Like, we must take initiative that stuff is happening and people don't feel like this. So I was just thinking about people at Haverford, and it just upsets me that there are kids who do feel like this. So we have to realize this and then take action. So we have to be also, along with that, we have to be mindful that different students interpret different situations in different ways. So something that might be really little to one person is a really big deal to another. So we need to be aware that everyone is different in their own ways, and respect differences amongst everyone, because you can't talk someone out of feeling it a certain way. You just have to embrace it and then accommodate to them. So that's what we got from it.
We put emphasis on the faculty meeting, 2 major ideas we believe that can help to fix student isolation, and that is student-teacher relationships. So we believe that icebreakers, that's like the first day of class, you go in, it's more of like an introduction, like you say, like fun facts about yourself, and people get to guess like who you are, and they get to learn more about you than just what you look like on the surface. But the one major thing we believe as students is that a student-teacher relationship is key to students feeling welcome and comforted in school, and we believe that, like, since you're in a class probably like 5 months, like a semester class, you're with that teacher for a long period of time, and we believe like a teacher reaching out and sending an email like, hey, you're doing really good, like if you need to talk about anything, like I'm here. Like sometimes we get like power school, like cookie cutter comments where it's like, is a pleasure to have in class, and that just really doesn't cut it for us. Like we want like an emotional, like close relationship with a teacher and other peers as well. So yeah.
Thank you.
Hi, my name's Nee.
I'm Tommy.
We're the co-presidents of No Place for Hate.
So with No Place for Hate, our kind of message and our club is all about, it's a pool of students who are passionate about the message of No Place for Hate and want to work to ensure that tolerance, empathy, and inclusivity are advocated for and established within HHS. So something new this year to No Place for Hate, we were in need of another activity. So we're very known, as we'll talk about later, for our fishbowl. We needed something else that was more widespread that get the whole student body involved. So we came up with the idea of kindness campaigns. So kindness campaigns are just basically little events that splurge a lot of happiness among the student body. So the goal is honestly just get the student body smiling for a little portion of their day. And it's also to get people knowing about No Place for Hate and interested in the club to hopefully come to a few more meetings. Our format has usually been greeting the student body at the 3 main entrances as they enter the school. We usually have about 25 volunteers from with our club who come in early as 6:45 in the morning with the energy needed to make these mornings a success. So on the board we have in October, for Halloween, we did a compliment with a spider ring. So at the doors we handed out little spider rings and gave a compliment like, who be spooky, be wonderful, and have a great day and stuff. We followed that kind of same format in January for semester 1 finals, where instead of spider rings, we gave out pencils and inspirational stickers like "You got this," A+ to the people entering the school. And then we're really excited for our final one upcoming next Friday, which is going to be 1.5-inch stickers with little smiley faces on them, while we're giving everybody kind of more verbal compliments of let's finish out the school year, let's finish this strong. So those are our 3 main ones that we did this year. The reception of these campaigns has been positive and effective as we've both heard chatter and as more attention through these campaigns, as we've seen increased involvement and increased kind of like, oh, when's the next one? We want to be a part of this. What's going on? This is so cool. And so we're definitely going to continue these next year and hopefully make them a little bit more frequently than just 3 a year.
So now I just want to talk to you about fishbowls, kind of our the main thing that what we're known for. So fishbowls are student-led discussions. They they act as catalysts for students to talk about societal issues associated with Haverford. So how they kind of work is that they're comprised of 2 circles, the inner circle and the outer circle. So the inner circle has the freedom to talk for an unlimited amount of time. And they kind of bounce ideas around with each other's. And then we have the outer circle who is there to observe, but if they do feel like they would like to speak, we do keep an open seat for them so that they can join the conversation at any period of time that they would like to. We also welcome faculty members. In the past, we've had very widespread support from our faculty members and teachers, which makes us feel very loved and supported. So faculty can join us. They're also they're in the perimeter of the room. They kind of sit in, they absorb in all the information. Of course, they're just there to observe. They're not really there to voice their opinions, and through that, they are able to become more educated about their students and understand the way that they feel. And we also want to put emphasis on this kind of activity because students spend so much time in schools. We spend 5 out of 7 days. Sometimes we spend up to 12 hours in Haverford High School. So it's very important for this kind of understanding to be established between the student and the teacher. It helps them build empathy and, again, avoid ignorance within our school. So in the past, we've had fishbowls about race, peer, gender, and sexuality, but this year we wanted to focus on more broad topics that apply to more individuals, such as mental health and how to be an ally. We're also trying to plan our upcoming one, I think
it's 29th, Wednesday, May 29th.
29th. If any of you guys would like to come and show support, we always love. Dr. Rushi has been present in one of our previous ones. I believe it was mental health.
And something like we love about this year especially is, as you can see, last year we're kind of very focused topics, and with the broader topics this year, it's to account for the increased kind of population at these meetings. So it used to be 20, 25 people at the kind of discussions. This year we're kind of dealing with like 60 to 70 people at each discussion. So we're really trying, I think we're doing a good job of like getting broader topics to bring even more people in and having a more beneficial conversation with a lot of different viewpoints.
And also from the student end, I've gotten countless of my peers come up to me telling me about how like fishbowls have really opened their eyes, how they've gained so much more understanding and more empathy for their classmates, kind of like understanding them on another level than just somebody who they pass by and see in the halls. So,
yeah. Awesome. Thank you again.
Katie Redding again. I also attended the Coatesville Spirit Summit, which was on March 29th. A couple of us here took a field trip during the school day up to Coatesville, and other high schools were in attendance, like Cumberland Valley, Coatesville School and others. And we broke up into 2 sessions, and one was a student panel talking to us about how they identify problems at their school, and they gave us ideas on how to act. Like, they had a culture day where students of different cultures made like a trifold and like taught their peers what it's like to be them. And they also taught us how they do positive messages in the bathroom, like on the stalls, like when you go in and close the door, it says, oh, like, you're awesome, like, you're beautiful, like, have a good day, like, just positive reinforcing messages to know, like, we're all in this together. And the second session that I attended was with another teacher from a different school, and it was kind of like a simulation of each person in a group got a different role, and it was like how to react to a person who has a different problem. Like, one of them was a student in a wheelchair at a basketball game. Like, how would you approach them? How would you include them in everything? And it taught us how to be, like, add inclusion and how to be, like, sympathetic with others. Thank you.
So I wanted to kind of follow up with this presentation that provided hopefully a small glimpse of the many ways that student voice is evident in the Haverford High School and how it's connected to the BASIS work. At the beginning of the year, we talked a little bit about the general overview BASIS philosophy, and on May 23rd, I'll be here to give an update of the whole year on our BASIS work. But if you remember, one of the 4 main Mind Matter pillars is active participation. And in order for us to really build authentic belonging and a culture in our schools, student voice and active participation is an absolute fundamental component. And when I watched these students sit in a faculty meeting, which for some adults, to get in front of an entire high school faculty and have a conversation is a challenge and a hurdle. And to watch them do it seamlessly, flawlessly, kind of watched Mr. Donaghy allow that platform and put that platform in place for not only active student voice to hear it, but actually to engage in dialogue, offer suggestions, and provide learning, was astounding. But then to see the authentic relationship with our teachers and the reception and the engagement and the 100% support that they were showing to the students was a clear illustration of what's happening with, a small glimpse of what's happening at the high school as far as active participation and authentic student voice. So I complimented them, but also want to just take a moment to say, an amazing job, and thank you to Mr. Donaghy, the high school administration, but also the high school teachers, because this is one of many examples that happen on a continual basis and that we're hoping to not only highlight, build from, but also grow. So thank you guys tonight, and if you have any questions, they'll be happy to answer. They knew they had a time limit, so if you were feeling rushed, you did a great job sticking to the time limit. They'd be happy to answer any questions that you have.
I wanted to make a quick comment. I just want to commend you because the work you're doing is what makes a culture of inclusion and belonging. And it's the most important thing. So thank you so much for all your work.
You're here. That's great. And as it's the day before the junior prom, I did tell them that if they're, when the questions have answered, feel free to leave. So thank you guys, and we'll see you in the morning. Right? Okay. Thank you.